Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Claire Simon, and we're here today with Cliff Dixon. Cliff, you signed up to raise money for Asthma UK by riding a virtual version of the London to Paris ride. Can I ask why?
Basically, last year, towards the summer, I suddenly developed a severe cough, which got worse and worse as the days went on. It got so bad that I was having non-stop coughing for 2 and 3 hours, very violent coughing, so much so that I could hardly get my breath while I was coughing.
Goodness.
This then led to sleepless nights, to feeling completely unwell, and I then contacted the doctors, and the doctors tried to find out what the problem was and give me medication for a number of different things. But unfortunately, none of them were able to ease the situation, which got worse and worse. In actual fact, it all culminated one day in my wife Claire coming home to find me slumped on the stairs, struggling badly to breathe at all, at which point she bundled me in the car and took me off to the hospital. The hospital immediately admitted me, and over the next 3 days they did the examinations and tests, and they came up with the condition of late set bronchial asthma.
Goodness. That sounds horrific.
Well, it was certainly a surprise. As a 67-year-old, I've throughout my life been extremely fit, maintained a high level of fitness, which I still do, and I'd never smoked, never had a bronchial problem at all in my life. And to suddenly find at this stage that I developed this condition really was a shock.
And that's potentially going to apply to some people who'll be watching this who are cyclists, as you've been a cyclist for many years. And as you say, been really fit, so it can just strike out of the blue by all accounts.
Absolutely. I think it's something people need to be aware of if they develop, a similar cough to this that is very much a violent coughing and doesn't respond easily. Then I think it's time to seek specialist help. What happened at the hospital was after the examination, they give me the prescriptions, which were steroid tablets, an initial course of steroid tablets, followed by steroid inhaler and a relief inhaler as well. And what happened next was that my wife and I had been given the green light to go on a little holiday trip of ours. But during that, it became very clear that the condition wasn't stabilizing at all. It was continuing to be quite bad. And by this time, I was starting to become desperate to find out what needed to be done. So, having found out about Asthma UK, I phoned up their specialist asthma health nurses, and they were absolutely brilliant. They were superb. And having run through the whole situation, the prescription that I was given, the lady I was speaking to immediately said, "You've been given the wrong prescription." That actually the requirements were changed 12 months ago and you should have been given a longer dose of steroid tablets. So basically what it meant was I hadn't been given sufficient to stabilize, so after that it was always going to be a problem. So what she did then was suggest to me how I could address that by taking additional steroid inhaling and other issues that I could follow. She also provided me with a tremendous reassurance and clarity about the nature of asthma, its conditions, and what exactly I can expect with the problem itself. Now, having undertaken those changes, within 48 hours, my condition had stabilised considerably and has to this day, with slight adjustments, stabilised. So my slight concern was that I had doctors who are not specialists in this area, who can struggle at times to actually identify particular problems. Asthma UK were able to look at this from a very specialist point of view and steer me in the right direction.
It sounds like Asthma UK came along at the right time for you to, as you say, get you stable and on the road to recovery.
Absolutely. And the condition, I'm still having to take the steroid inhalation today, and I may have to do that for the rest of my life, but the dosage is stabilised and the condition is stabilised, so much so that I can still do, you know, a good level of exercise, which also assists in, if you like, keeping at bay the worst parts of asthma itself.
And speaking of exercise, tell us something about the ride that you're undertaking and the challenges it poses, particularly if you're an asthmatic.
Well, basically, I had the opportunity to do a sponsored virtual London to Paris ride over 300 miles. The aim was to complete this within the month of May, but I decided that I would do this within 21 days. And also I decided, as an added attraction for people who might want to subscribe, is that I would give up alcohol for the period as well, which I think I may find even more difficult than the ride itself.
So you like a little glass of wine in the evening, do you?
Now and again, but the situation is that my wife Claire is scrutinising this very closely, so I will not be able to get away with sneaking a glass of wine in. The other good thing as well is that we have a intelligent bike, training bike, and on that it can be replicating the actual route itself, and that includes the inclines, the hills, going down the hills, and a very, very good friend from Germany, Falk, has downloaded the actual route in 15 stages, so that, and then that will be transposed onto RGT cycling. And if people want to ride along with me each day, then they'd be more than welcome to ride along with me.
So there's no slacking then if your bike's actually going to be going uphill?
No, not at all. I mean, it will go up to 15 to 20% climb, and it does absolutely replicate the nature of the course itself.
Sounds great. So how much money do you hope to raise, and what will the money actually be used for?
Well, I hoped initially to raise over £100. The good thing is, thanks to the fantastic generosity of people, I've already exceeded £200 in that. And the issue for me is that because all of this money goes to Asthma UK to assist with both their support and in particular as well asthma research, every penny goes towards that, then basically I'm going to try and raise as much as I can because of the benefits it provides. I mean, for those people who are not aware of asthma, and hopefully people watching this don't suddenly become subject to asthma or asthma attacks, there are over 5 million people in the UK at the moment receiving treatment for asthma, and that includes over 1 million children. And every 10 seconds, someone is having a potential life-threatening asthma attack.
Goodness.
With, on average, 3 people a day dying. And that's one of the things with asthma is, I think it's a quiet charity, Asthma UK, and a lot of people are not anywhere near as aware of that as they would be with things like cancer and heart problems as well. And the most recent data that was collected in 2017, there were nearly 1,500 people in the UK who died of asthma. So it's a very serious situation. It can happen to anybody. And again, the more that can be done to try and provide both support and hopefully an answer to asthma, the better.
Those figures are astonishing. And from what you're saying, Asthma UK provide a really good resource if people are concerned about themselves or anyone in their family or friends. They can actually contact Asthma UK on their helpline and get information to help.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was phenomenally reassuring to me, both in terms of the treatment it provided and also the advice. The other thing as well is, if you go to the Asthma UK website, there's lots of information on there, lots of things that you need to look out for in terms of asthma and avoid as well from that point of view, because they have excellent expert advice available.
Fantastic. And is it right that if people want to donate, all they need to do, they just look, they can look on your daily Facebook posting with your update, and they can just click on the link.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'd encourage people to have a look on a daily basis, if only to see the pain and effort I'm going through at each stage. But yes, the link is on there for people, and it's quite simple. Click on the link and donate whatever you are able to donate, from £1 to £10, whatever. It's all going to a really good cause, and together that all adds up to a really good result for Asthma UK.
Great. Well, thank you, Cliff. Good luck, and we look forward to following your progress over the next 3 weeks.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it myself.